Hello, I'm Zan and it's Monday here on Diary of a Gender Fluid. So, 2 weekends ago, I was at a queer leadership conference with the three biggest universities in my state. And there were quite a lot of people there, like 70 or so. And it was really interesting to just get to take a break from the world and hang out with just a bunch of LGBTQIA+, queer, GSRD, whatever word you want to use for it. It was so cool to get to hang out with so many people like me. And there's one thing in particular I wanted to go over in this video that I was thinking about a lot that weekend, and that is restrooms. So generally, restrooms are segregated into a women's room and a men's room, in the United States at least. But this weekend, there was no women's room or men's room. Every single bathroom in the entire camp had been covered up with a sign labeled all gender restroom. It was great because everybody there understood that if you're going to the restroom, it's probably because you have to pee. There's really not much else going on there. And there's really no reason for a bunch of people like us to segregate our restrooms. There weren't even doors on the restrooms, just stall doors, so you just walk right in, whoever you are, and you go to the bathroom, because that's what restrooms are for. One thing that a lot of us were talking about there is how we had all gender restrooms, and guess what? The world didn't fall apart. It didn't. It was just fine. In fact, it was great. My university has a couple gender-neutral / family bathrooms, but all gender encompasses, as it says, all genders. So literally anybody who wants to go to the bathroom, regardless of gender. And I'm not saying that we should completely abolish segregated restrooms. I'm saying we need all gender restrooms as well. Schools should have at least one all gender restroom, I think. Public places should have more than just a men's and a women's room, even if it is just that one stall room that they call a gender neutral restroom. They need to have something that's more than just the men's room and the women's room. It was just so exciting because everybody was just so happy with the fact that they could just go to the bathroom, because that's not something that a lot of these people are able to do in public, is go to the bathroom, because for a lot of them there's nowhere to go. And yes, people do have a point when they say we shouldn't unsegregate all restrooms, when they say that bad things can happen in restrooms. But the thing is, bad things happening in restrooms happens a lot less than people going to the bathroom in restrooms, because that's what they're built for. And the immense number of people who cannot use those restrooms really need somewhere to pee. That's really what it gets down to here. They need somewhere to go to the bathroom like everyone else, because we're all just people trying to use the bathroom. There shouldn't be specific people who are excluded from using restrooms at all. Because people who don't really fit in with the gender binary, who look out of place in both restrooms, they have nowhere to go. And so that's why we need some, at least, all gender restrooms. Basically, most of the LGBTQIA+ community big events that we have the nearest bathrooms with a little all-gender piece of paper put over both restrooms so that people attending the events can go to the bathroom. And this is a really good step forward. But where do they go to the bathroom when that event's over, when the signs are taken down? Nowhere. I know this is a touchy subject, And something I think that is really interesting and strange is that, you get a lot of conservatives generally talking about how we should not, by any means at all, allow transgender people to use the men's room or the women's room, to use the restrooms. They can't do it. That's what, they're saying. They're saying it's to protect their women from perverts who are literally just people trying to pee, but okay. But here's where the paradox kind of sets in. They say, let's not allow trans people to use the restrooms we have. And then they say, let's not make restrooms that the trans people can use. All gender restrooms are bad and bad things will happen there. That doesn't really make sense. So don't let them use the ones we have and don't make new ones for them to use. What do you want them to do? Just pee behind a bush? That's already illegal. So them making laws to make it illegal for trans people to use the bathrooms that exist, but also saying we should not make bathrooms for them to use, I really don't know what they're getting at there. I don't know what they're expecting. I have no idea what they want. Do they just want us to not exist? Well, clearly they do want us to not exist, but what do we do when we do exist? Non-binary people exist. Trans people exist. Queer people exist. I'm not a unicorn. I'm right here, talking to this camera. And I don't understand. Anyway, I guess that's all I wanted to share. All gender restrooms can be very helpful for people. And not allowing people to use any restrooms is completely absurd. I'm Zan, and I'll see you next Monday. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm doing a Q&A video in the near-ish future, so if you have any questions that you want me to answer, please put them in the comments below. You can also send them to my Tumblr, which is always in the description. Just make sure that you tell me that the question is for the Q&A video. Alright, awesome.